This is DaveNoseMMA.
This weekend's main event promises to be a barn burner. The 155-pound division has long been considered the weight class with the most depth when it comes to talent, and for good reason. And while originally the fight for the interim title was supposed to be Khabib versus Ferguson, and that would have been without a doubt two of the very best lightweights in the game at the time vying for the strap, I really like this alternative of Kevin Lee versus Tony Ferguson. Though there are probably other lightweights that might be considered more deserving to be in Lee's position right now, he still earned his keep by having very solid, impressive performances, and he can't be faulted for being at the right place at the right time. The heated interaction between the two on the Fox broadcast during Lee's post-fight interview after the Chiesa fight wasn't one of those typical disingenuous, trying to hype a fight back and forths we've had to suffer through so many times over the years. That conflict was very real. There's an argument to be made that this is just a little too soon for Lee. I'm not sure I'm ready to make it myself, but I wouldn't dispute it either. As sharp as Lee has looked in his last 5 fights, dispatching 4 of his opponents before the sound of the second horn, there's definitely a disparity in experience between these two. And I'm not just talking about in terms of the number of fights. While there is a difference there, Ferguson with 25 pro MMA bouts and Lee with 18, it's the level of competition each guy's faced that's the difference maker in my eyes. When I had a look at the records, I was surprised to see that Ferguson officially only has 2 more fights in the UFC than Lee, 13 and 11 respectively. But what you have to take into account is the fact that Ferg had 3 fights not on his official record while he was on The Ultimate Fighter, and 3 KO/TKOs at that. But the actual number of fights aside, Tony Ferguson has fought a lot more top-tier talent than Lee. And while the more experienced fighter doesn't always translate into guaranteeing the victory, I think it accounts for a lot in this case. That coupled with the fact that Ferguson has only lost twice in his past 20 fights. That's just 2 losses in his past 20 fights. And a meaningful percentage of those bouts are against a lot of the top tier talent in the division at that time. Ferguson has been on a next level kind of tear these past few years, and the momentum he's acquired over that time has only been elevating as each fight passes by. Each victory more emphatic than the one before it. The intense belief he has in himself is something that cannot be faked. And while Lee is dangerous as all hell and most certainly a fighter that cannot be slept on unless you're looking to be in a world of trouble, this fight is Tony Ferguson's to lose.